never duplicated. USB, often imitated. Can't do it like me, never duplicated. This is USB. Can't do it like me, no you're not like me, often imitated. This is USB. Can't do it like me, no you're not like me, never.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Thank you for joining me here on Unaffiliated Sports Broadcast. This is our game day episode. Got a lot to talk about. Obviously, we kick off the basketball season starting here this week. And, hey, today's our first game, so we're really excited to be able to talk about that. I got a little bit of a surprise for everybody. We're gonna have a guest. We're gonna have a guest on this. Yes, that's right. We're gonna have a guest, and I'm super excited to have this individual on here. It's a pre-recorded interview. Timing is critical, right? And it's just kind of the way that it all aligned. So this isn't going to be a live episode. This is a pre-recorded. So bear with me on that. Hopefully it's a little smoother, but you never know, right? So with that, let's get into it, shall we? Now, obviously, like I said, we start our basketball coverage this week, and we're going to start with arguably what I think is the biggest game of the week so far. Definitely the biggest game of the week, and that's going to be our inter-county rivalry, where we have the Grantsville High School Ladies taking on the Tooele High School Lady Buffs. Super excited for this game. I cannot wait to see it. Last year was a little rough, but I'm really excited for what we got this year. So let's kind of get into a little bit of what we can maybe expect coming from these two teams. We've got Grantsville versus Tooele, and this game takes place at 7 p.m. tonight, so make sure that you get there. It's going to be a great show. But if you can't make this one, there's plenty of games that we'll be talking about that you should hopefully be able to get to. But nonetheless, this is the game that I'm most looking forward to. This is by far the game of the week, in my opinion. It's a huge matchup. I think it's going to be a really good game. We got a lot going. But let's look at a little bit of what these teams did last year. So Grantsville High School last season was 25-2 overall. A great, phenomenal season for those ladies last year. They went 10-0 in region. They averaged about 64.5 points per game. They were about 43% from field goal last year and about 29% from the three-point line. And in terms of free throw, they were 68% on the season, and they had an amazing 562 steals. Absolutely insane. So some notable returners for Grantsville. You got the junior number 15, Emmy Butler. She had 198 points last year, 122 rebounds, which was good for third place on the team in the stats category last year. She had 57 steals, 46 personal fouls, though, and she tied for third in that category. She also had 42% field goal percentage, so not too shabby there by any means. She was 18-57, so about 32% from the three-point line. And then she had a 61% free throw percentage, going 30 of 49 from the line. So really good season for that young lady. Last year, she's going to be entering her junior year this year. I think she's going to have more of a prominent role moving forward. She definitely made herself known, though. Last year, she had a heck of a season. So keep an eye on that young lady. Another young lady that we could potentially be seeing is senior number 2, Sadie Thornton. Now she had less of a statistical impact, but she had an impact nonetheless. She finished the season with 33 points, 25 rebounds, 22 steals. She did have 19 turnovers and 12 personal fouls. So in her short amount of time that she saw in terms of minutes, she made a little bit of an impact there. So keep an eye on this young lady as we move forward. She was 29% from the field, from the field. Excuse me. She was about 17% from three. She made 2 of 12 on that, and then from the free throw line, she was an even 50%, 7 of 14. So that's an area that I'm sure she's definitely looking to improve. Now, as far as Tooele is concerned, last season they had a great season as well. Last year they went 16-8 overall. They went 10-2 in region, tying for first place there. They averaged about 48.8 points per game, 33% from the field, 24% from three-point line, and 55% from the free throw They had 334 steals on the season for them. Some notable returners for them. We've got a junior, number 5, Kennedy Searle. She led the team with 338 points last year, 182 rebounds, which was also the leader in the stat category for her team there. She had 51 steals, 30 blocks, which also led the team. She had 71 turnovers, 64 personal fouls, 37% from the field, 28% from three. She went 45 of 160. She led in attempts there. And then free throw line, she led the team with 65%, going 53 of 82. Another notable returner that we're definitely keeping our eye on here is senior number 3, Halle Hogan. She had 242 points on the season, 67 rebounds, 77 steals, which she led the team with in that category, by the way. But she was also second on the stat line in turnovers, having 79 on the season. So definitely an area of emphasis that I'm sure she's looking to improve upon. 51 personal fouls for the young lady. She went 32% from the field. She shot 28% from the three-point line. She was second in attempts there, right behind Kennedy. She went 36 of 149, so not bad there. From the free throw line, she was 36 of 56 for a 64% field goal percentage. Now, this last meeting between these two teams, Grantsville put a whooping on the Buffaloes, winning 72-18. It was definitely not Tooele's best basketball. But here's something to kind of take into consideration with this, right? Grantsville has a new head coach. They've got several high impact and value players, in my opinion, headed out for graduation. So it's big shoes to fill. A large portion of their game was their ability to create turnovers. They really just kind of ran teams into the ground, and if you couldn't keep up with them, they just beat you down, right? I don't know if we're going to see that. I don't know what that's going to look like. It'll be interesting. Tooele, on the other hand, returns practically the entire team. They had like 2 seniors last year, which if you caught our Sunday episode, we kind of highlighted that a little bit more in depth. But they're pretty much returning the entire team, and they picked up the best statistical player from Stansbury, if I'm not mistaken. So they've added to. They've already got a pretty impressive roster that they're returning, and they've got. They're young and full of potential players, you know what I mean, with experience that are coming off of a great season. So definitely not, I don't think we're going to get the same look. Now, Grantsville still has capable athletes, don't get me wrong, and players, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, they still have capable players, and a lot of those players have developed in that high intensity play style. So there's a good chance that we see kind of some of the same stuff, right? But I don't know that you're going to see the same thing. Right, I think there's a lot of unknowns with that right now, so this could turn out to be a completely different game between these two, and I'm super excited for it. Now, the tempo seemed to be the problem for Tooele in their meeting last year, in my opinion. I think they started out really great, okay, but I think the tempo was just a little bit too much for them to keep up with, and it broke down their entire game plan. They really struggled. So I'm looking for Tooele to kind of control that tempo a little bit better if they can, but nonetheless, if Grantsville can maintain the tempo and defensive pressure, I think this is a close game. Only because the offensive output might not be the same overwhelming, force that we're used to seeing with this Cowboys team. So I have a feeling this one's going to be a little bit closer. I think it's going to be a more evenly matched game because Tooele did a lot of good things last year, especially at the latter part of the season. But seeing as Tooele has the cohesion on their side, I do like their odds in this game. But however, it is in Grantsville, right? The crowd can definitely play a factor there and help out the Cowboys as they head into this matchup. So a lot of unknowns for this Grantsville team. We know a little bit about the returning players, but they didn't play a ton of minutes, right? So not really sure what to expect with new head coach Chase Boydtson over there. I think he's very defensively minded, but I don't know if it's going to look the same, right? And so I think Grantsville will do fine offensively. I just don't know if it's going to be the same high power that we're used to seeing. But with that, though, because this is the game of the week, I've got an very exciting, in my opinion, treat for you guys. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna play the clip from our interview that we did last night with Halle Hogan. That's right, the guard for Tooele High School. She joined us, gave us a little bit of insight of what we can maybe expect from their perspective, and it was a great conversation to be able to listen to and chat with the young ladies. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get over to that interview. Check it out. All right, everybody. So we are joined with our special guest for tonight, for this afternoon, I should say, or this evening, however you want to look at it, whatever time frame it is. We are joined with our special guest, a young lady that I'm absolutely thrilled to have the opportunity to speak with. I've been a fan of hers from the very first game that I saw Tooele play. She's a heck of a competitor. She's a great facilitator for her team. I'm super excited to have her on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest today, Halle Hogan. Halle, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good, good. How's everything going?
Everything's going good. Started basketball season, so it's pretty great right now.
Awesome, awesome. Well, tell us something about yourself that we may not find on a stat sheet.
I think something about myself that a lot of people don't know is that I love energy. Like, I think that energy is like something that can make and break a team. Like in the gym, I think that just energy is like, I don't know, I think energy is pretty cool, and I think it can do some cool things.
Is there like a specific type of energy that you're talking about? You talking about like defensive energy or just all around energy?
Yeah, just like all around, like just being excited for your teammates, excited for yourself, and just like keeping that positive energy in the gym, I think is like something that's really big, and I think I like to focus on a lot we'd like to focus on a lot at Tooele.
All right, cool. So you're like the hype lady for your team then? Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah, I get pretty rowdy in practice. I like to get pretty excited.
I could see that. I could see that for sure. Well, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So, obviously, we got you on the show today because you guys have the inter-county rivalry game. You guys are starting out the season with it. That's got to be super exciting. I know it's exciting for me at least. Maybe it's not as exciting for you, but for me in particular, that's pretty exciting. How do you feel about that?
I'm really excited. I'm pretty excited to show what we have this year and the work that we've put in. Yeah, I'm really excited for tomorrow.
Perfect. Well, you and your team enter this season after an impressive season last year. You ladies really did very well. You guys went 16-8 overall. You did absolutely fantastic at region play, tying for region. Is that correct?
Yeah, we ended up tying.
Yeah. Heck of a season you ladies had. What do you think was the reason for that success, and how do you feel that prepares you moving into this season?
I think a big part is like the squad that we have right now. We've played together for a really long time. Like my dad coached us when we were in like 6th grade. Like just like me, Kennedy, Macy, Berkeley, Linz, like all of us girls, we've played together for a long time. And so I think we just kind of have a different connection than some teams have. And I think that's a big part.
Sorry, my mic cut out there. No, connection's a huge part, I think. It's definitely a huge part. And you guys are returning a ton of players that got very valuable minutes for you guys last year. So I'm sure that cohesion is extremely big for you guys.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's pretty cool because it's not just on the basketball court. Like we have a really good connection outside of that too. So I think that's kind of a big reason that we, a team that doesn't get along isn't going to do very good, and we all get along really well. So I think that's good.
Perfect. So looking at some things here, last year you led your team in steals with 77 steals on the season. What do you attribute to your defense? Was it something that you personally worked on, or was it more of the defensive set kind of giving you the opportunities to get those steals?
Yeah, no, I think it was a little bit of both. My sophomore year, I broke my ankle, but I played about like the first half, and I struggled a lot with defense. Like I was just kind of slow. And so that's something that I worked on a lot that season, is kind of getting my speed there and being a better defender, being able to help my team out on defense. But I also think that our set that we have, that our coach has made, gives me a lot of opportunities to be able to get those stills.
You said the defensive set kind of helped get you those steals. Was there anything like in particular that you kind of drilled or anything like that, or did it seem to come kind of natural for you?
No, it's just kind of been natural. I've played basketball a lot. Like I've played it when I was really young, so I just kind of always had a basketball mindset. And so I think that kind of helps anticipate, I guess, a little bit.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think it's kind of evident that you've been playing ball for a while because you dropped an impressive 36 threes last year, arguably in some big time moments for your team as well. I remember being at some of the games, and they were kind of some tight games, and you would drop a three. Is that an area of focus for you, or was it more of a situation you were able to just kind of take advantage of?
I think it was more of a situation I was kind of able to take advantage of. I don't know. I don't think I'd say that three is my really like my move or like my shot, but I mean, I've practiced it and I feel confident to shoot that shot, but we also have some really good shooters. So I'm also one to look for my other teammates that I know can also make that shot. But I think just working, I've been in the gym and that's helped me a lot, but also just kind of that situation, I was able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes complete sense because you also led your team with 53 assists last year. What do you attribute to that success? Like, how did you become such a great facilitator for your team?
I've always been one to look. I always told my coaches that I'd always look for my teammates before I look for my own shot. That's kind of something my coaches wanted me to work on that last year, was to look for my own shot first. But yeah, I love finding my teammates. I think that finding my teammates and them making a shot is just as cool, if not cooler, than me making a shot.
That's really cool to hear because I mean I think the trend nowadays is everybody wants to be the superstar, right? And a lot of people don't see the value in being able to be a facilitator and what that could really do for your team. So that's really cool to hear that's kind of your go-to mentality, and that your coaches actually had to work to try to break you out of that a little bit. That's really awesome to hear.
Yeah, I love assists. Those are probably my favorite thing to get.
So what are your goals for this season, and what aspect of your game are you looking to improve the most?
I think that outside of like my game, I think my one of my biggest goals is just have fun. Like this is my last year. I want it to be memorable, and I want to make sure that it's like a fun year. But I think that what I want, one of my goals for like the court is just to be able to control the game, control the speed of the game, and kind of be able to slow the game down for my team or speed it up for my team if I need to just be able to be that point guard that can control the offense.
Is that something you found to be a little difficult, or was that something, slowing it down? Because pace of the game, sometimes that can be difficult, right? Is that something that you've had a hard time with, or was that something that you felt maybe came a little natural for you?
I think both. I think sometimes I can get caught up in a press or something and kind of going too fast, but I also feel like I like I like to find the happy medium, like not going too fast, but also being able to slow it down, but push the ball.
Sure, absolutely. What is something that you feel is your biggest strength that you add to your team?
That's kind of, I don't know. That's a hard question just because I don't know. I feel like that's something someone else should answer for me. But I think that a strength that I have is just being able to be a leader. Like I feel like I'm a pretty decent leader, and I kind of can help out the team in a leader wise. But I don't know. I think just being a leader. But as a point guard, you kind of have that automatic role of being a leader. So
Okay, so being a leader is your your go-to. Go-to trait. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. So, I mean, as you look ahead to this season opener that you ladies have against Grantsville, right? What are your expectations for yourself and your team heading into this matchup?
Um, I don't know if we really have a lot of expectations. We've been working a lot on our game, and we know what our game's gonna be. We know what we know Grantsville, right? We had them last year, and that was a rough game. But we know Grantsville, and we know that they're a great team. But we also know that we're a great team, and we're gonna go in and play as Tooele. We're not gonna worry about what Tooele or what Grantsville's gonna play like. We're just gonna go play as Tooele.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of that game, right? I mean, last year's meeting, yeah, it was definitely tough for you guys. You ended up losing that one 72-18. What was the biggest thing you personally took you from that loss, like you as the individual, and how has that prepared you as you head forward into that matchup this year?
Yeah, no, that game was tough. Like if I had to go to my hardest like mental game, I would definitely say Grantsville last year. They're a great team, right? Last year they had a great team, Bailey Louder, Avery Allred, like some really great athletes, and they still do have good athletes. But I think just taken away from like that sucked, and I don't ever want to lose like that again. Like that kind of was personal, and that sucked, and that we won't let that happen again.
Sorry, Mike was off again. I'm terrible at this. No, I think that's solid. And as much as it does suck, right? I think sometimes those situations, um, they really inspire something within us, and it sounds like it's kind of inspired something inside you to make sure. And I think that's where that leadership aspect that you talked about is going to come in huge for you, and your desire to want to control tempo and pace of the game. I think it's going to be monumental because you're right. They're not the same team exactly. They have a lot of um, younger players returning, but um, they are kind of going through a change a little bit. So it could look a little bit different. Hard to say what you're going to get there, right? But you do know the energy level, and I don't know how you feel about this, but last year my personal opinion of it was you guys just kind of got outran. And I don't know if you guys were ready for the pace of it. I don't know if that's a fair assessment, but that was kind of that was kind of my perspective of it from the stands, right? And but I noticed that after that game, your team really upped the tempo in all the other games that I saw moving forward after that. Would you say that's kind of a fair assessment, or am I way off in left field on that?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think that we got outran on the court and like the just getting the ball pushed. And I think we just kind of got outran in everything. They kind of just they whooped us in everything. That was a rough game. Yeah, that game definitely sucked. It was not a fun one.
No, I imagine it was not, and I applaud you guys because you guys never quit fighting. It just didn't work, and I applaud that. I applaud that 100% because that's probably the toughest thing I would imagine is when that's happening in that situation to still have that fight and that energy to keep pushing forward. So I definitely applaud you guys in that because you guys really did well in that category in my opinion. So let me.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say like yeah, that game was it was rough, but we learned a lot from it. I mean, I've always been told you learn when you lose, like that's when you learn the most, and I think that we learned a lot and took a lot away from that game, and it kind of changed us as a team a lot.
I would say so because you guys really did. The latter part of the season for you guys was great. You guys really started doing really good, and again you went 16-8. You ended up tying for region. So no, I mean yeah, that one game may have been a big deal, but the things I think you ladies learned from that it took you guys to another level. I think, and I'm super happy for you. So I hope you guys are at least happy for yourself.
Yeah, we are, but we know there's a lot more to get done.
Sure, absolutely. So, what can we expect then to be different for this matchup versus last year's meeting?
Yeah, it's really hard to know what this matchup's going to be like, right? Grantsville's got a new coach. We lost a lot of players. Like we've seen a lot of their players last year, but they're younger and they lost some of their big time players, right? So it's hard to like kind of know what the matchup's going to be like. So I feel like we're kind of going into it as we're not worried about what they're going to do. We're just going to do our thing and we're going to just play our hearts out. Like this game means a lot more than people think it does. It's a lot more personal to us over here in Tooele than what it was last year, and we're not going to let that happen again this year.
I can't wait. I'm excited for it because I believe you 100%. I don't think that that's anything that you guys took lightly, and I cannot wait to see your guys your team's response because I'm super excited for it.
Yeah,
um,
no, I hate losing. I hate losing a lot, and that was probably one of the worst losses that I've ever had. I can't. It's hard for me to even go back and watch the film. Like, it's yeah, that game was hard.
I don't know how you feel about this or how your coach might feel about this, but I think personally, I would look at a game like that, and I don't even know that I would bother watching film. I think I would just be like, hey, you know what? This is just something that collectively we need to be better at, and just move on from it because, um, I don't think you're going to get a lot from it except for anger. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about that. That's kind of the way I would look at that, and that's why I believe you 100% that this is going to be entirely different because I know that that couldn't have sat well with you ladies, with as well as you ladies did throughout the season. I know that that one didn't sit well, and I'm super excited to see what you guys come back with.
Yeah,
Now,
we're definitely excited to show people what we have this year.
good, because we're here for it. We're definitely here for it. Is there a matchup besides this one, or is this the biggest matchup that you're kind of looking forward to this season? And if there is another one, what team is that you're kind of looking forward to?
I mean, me personally, I'm pretty excited for Grantsville. Just to be able to kind of get a little redemption, I guess. My sister's played, and she's got whooped by Grantsville every year, right? Like Grantsville's always had a really good girls basketball program, and so I think I'm just excited to be able to show them like Tooele's kind of finally got a good team going. So I'm excited for Grantsville, but I think that every game's really important this season. We have a lot of tough games this season. We got a good region this season, so I think every game is really important, and we're gonna have a lot of hard games, but we're here for it, and we're excited to work our butts off in every game.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, because this may be a big personal game for you, but in the grand scheme of things, those region games are arguably more important for you ladies, right? Because I mean, after the season you had last year, I'm sure the goal is definitely finish it out, right? And though this game might be a big personal one, when it comes down to that aspect of it, they're not in your region, so it's not going to have the same impact record wise, right? So I think. Yeah, I think there's a lot to really look forward to with your guys' region and go out there and compete, right? And show them that you can not only tie for region but win region and then continue moving on, right? So, you think that's a fair assessment, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that is. It definitely is personal, Grantsville. Like county matchup, kind of rivals. I mean, I'd say I'm rivals with anyone in Tooele County, Stansbury, Deseret Peak now. Like this is our county, right? This is Tooele's county, so that definitely is a personal matchup. But that this region games, those are what are important this year, and we know that, and we're ready for it.
Well, good. I'm excited to see it. So, uh, change the tone just a little bit, right? I mean, we kind of got hung up on that one. Eh, so every team has a player that is irreplaceable to their teams, right? And we may not always see it on the stat line. They may not be your top scorers or something like that. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But who in your opinion is that irreplaceable person for your team, and why is that?
Oh boy, this is a really hard question. if you were to ask me, I'd have to say everybody. You know, like I think everyone on our team brings a different role, and it kind of makes our team as what our team is. But I'd probably have to go with Kennedy Searle. And the thing is you see it on the stat line, right? Kennedy is an amazing player. She has been since her freshman year. Like she's been a great player. Stat line, outside of stat line, like she's just a great teammate, great player. She's always been just a great player all around. But I definitely have to say she's irreplaceable. She gets our offense going, and if us other four on the court can't figure out how to get our offense going or make a shot, we know that Kennedy will step up, and she'll be one to figure that out.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm glad you answered that because I was asking you. So I'm just, I'm just kidding. No, that's fantastic, right? Because I mean, I like to ask that question, right? Because sometimes it's somebody comes off the bench and it's their defensive play, or maybe it's somebody who when you need a big shot, they're the person to go to. Or and then hey, maybe it's somebody like Kennedy, like you're saying, who consistently has been that foundation or that cornerstone for your offense, right? To help you guys build something, right? I love that question because it really kind of makes you think about what your teammates really bring, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, but I think that every single player on our team is not replaceable. I think they all have a big role, and they all meet that role, and that's what makes us our team. So,
Well, that's extremely admirable of you for sure. Who in your or excuse me, as you enter your senior year, right? What is something you're hoping to leave the next generation with of up and coming players? What are you hoping to leave them with as you enter this year?
um, I think just to know to like work their butts off, right? Like Tooele hasn't always been a great girls basketball program. I mean, region we hadn't won it in 25 years until last year. So I think just to know that like a lot of people will not be there for you, and or I don't know if not be there for you is the word, but not believe in you, and all you can do is go to work and put work in and prove them wrong.
No, that's absolutely fantastic because I get what you're saying, right? Like they'll be there for you, but you kind of know there's that like that whispering in the background, right, where everybody's just kind of like expecting something not to happen type thing, and I imagine that's probably tough to work through if you let yourself get wrapped up in it.
Yeah, no, it is hard, but it's also good because it pushes you to want to be better and want to prove them wrong, or it does for me.
No, as it should, 100% as it should. I think because sometimes you need that fire, and if that's what does it for you, I think that's a fantastic thing. Because honestly, that's what reminded me to get an interview set up was because I noticed you liked the Instagram story about I think it was 25% of people think you guys are going to pull out a win. Let me double check that. I think that's what it said.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah. So according to the poll, right, the who wins for your guys' game tomorrow night, 75% got Grantsville, 25% got Tooele, and I noticed that you liked that, and I thought inside, I was like, she's probably using this as motivation, and I hope that you are because I'd be pissed about that if I was you, so I'd want to go out there and prove it too.
Yeah, 100%. That right there to me tells me that I got 75% of people to prove wrong, right? That tells me that 75% of people don't believe in me, and could show them what Tool basketball is, and I think that's pretty exciting. And I think that I don't know, I'm really excited for tomorrow.
I absolutely love that mentality, 100%. 100. I see. I'm telling you, I've been a fan of yours since that first game that I got to see, and I knew there was a reason, and I think that might be it. I 100% love that mentality.
Yeah, no, I don't like losing. I don't like it at all, and I don't like I don't like when people don't believe in Tooele. It's been a thing for a long time. People have always not believed in Tooele, or kind of took Grantsville's upper hand, which, I mean, they should. Like, Grantsville's been a good team, but this year is different.
I like it. I like it. I'm here for it. Who has been your biggest influence for basketball? A player, a coach, a family member? Who's been your biggest influence, and why is that?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot, but it easily have to go to my dad. My dad's taught me from a young age. Started playing basketball when I was tiny, and just in the gym with my brother when he was coaching my brother, and then he started coaching my team with Kennedy, Searle, Macy, Berkeley, Lindsay, all of us on it, and in fifth grade, and he's just been right there by my side. He's always believed in me, and I think that's good to have somebody like that when a lot of people don't, right? But to have my dad right there by my side has always been really cool.
That's awesome. That's fantastic to hear. Yeah, no, I'm glad you've had that support, because you're right. Not everybody gets that, right? And I also don't know that everybody who does have it. Sorry, I don't know that everybody who does have it necessarily recognizes the impact that it has. So to hear you say that, I think that's pretty awesome, and I'm sure he's more than proud of what you've been able to accomplish so far, and he's probably having the time of his life getting to watch it. I can tell you that as a dad. So that's pretty awesome. What's the dream for you? Where does basketball take you? If this takes you anywhere, right? I don't want you to think realistically. I want to hear the dream. What's the dream? Where does it take you?
Yeah, honestly, that's a hard question, because my dream as a little kid was to go play college and like all this stuff. But like recently, my dream is just have a good time right now in high school, and if college is where it takes me, then it does. But right now, it's just kind of to make me a better person, learn a lot of life lessons in it, and if it goes farther than high school, then it does. But right now, I'm not really planning on it to, or really dreaming for it to. I don't know if that's kind of where I want my dream to be. But yeah, definitely right now, I think my dream is to just become a better person in basketball in high school right now, and learn a lot of lessons from it. And if it takes me somewhere, then it does, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't.
No, that's cool. That's understandable for sure. Um, it doesn't have to be everything in your life. That's completely admirable and understandable at the same time, right? Um, if it could take you somewhere, because this is a sports podcast, right? Um, where where would be the ideal landing place for you to go?
Um, I'd probably just say just college. Like, I don't know. I've talked to colleges here and there. And that's been my dream as a kid, is to go play. But I don't know if that's what'll happen, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, what I can say is anything's possible. You put your mind to it. So if that's where you want to go, I think just based off this conversation that we've been having, I think you've got the right mentality to make anything you want happen. So if that's what you want to do, I have nothing but the utmost belief that you're going to achieve it. So it's all good if you don't have something picked out. All right, that's just a question I like to ask. So no big deal, no big deal. But this is probably my favorite question. Okay, because I think a little bit of humility goes a long way. We all do stupid things from time to time, right? Give us a bonehead moment, a story about a time in basketball in particular where you made a bonehead play or a mistake or something off the court, whatever it was, just basketball associated that in the moment maybe seemed like a good idea, but maybe wasn't such a good idea. But now it's something that you can kind of laugh at. Do you have a moment like that?
Yeah, kind of. I would probably say I think it was eighth grade. My dad was coaching, and I was with the team with like Kennedy and Macy. I'm pretty sure was on that team, and like Berkeley and all them. But man, we were bad. We lost a lot. We learned to lose, that's for sure. But we learned a lot from it. But I remember one game I was getting face guarded the whole entire game, and I was just sick of it. Like, I was so sick of it, and I just shoved the girl, and I took my shoes off, and I just walked out of the gym in the middle of the game with my dad coaching, and I just walked out. I think I swore at the ref a couple times. I just walked out, and then I remember walking back in like 5 minutes ago, and I was like, why did I walk out? Like, I was so embarrassed that I walked out. But I remember my dad was yelling at the refs, and I was like, let's go. My dad's got my back, even though this probably isn't the best idea, but my dad's yelling at the refs. He's got my back. But, yeah, no, that's a pretty funny moment.
Do you know what the most interesting part of that whole story was to me? Did you catch our podcast that we did on Sunday night?
Yeah, the technical foul.
Yeah, you were my
Is that
vote
what
for
you're
that.
saying?
You were my vote for that, 100%. And now I feel vindicated in that decision. And
Yeah.
no, that's awesome. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I was watching the podcast, and I was watching it down at my grandma's, and as soon as you said that, everyone was like starting to laugh because one of my I was telling everyone this year, I was like, I'm gonna get in a fight, like just for the fun of it, like senior year, go out with a bang.
Oh, I wouldn't
I'm
do all
not,
that
I'm,
now. I wouldn't
I'm
do all
not gonna
that.
do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get a technical foul. I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Good. I like to be proven wrong. So please, on that aspect, please prove me wrong. Do not go get in a fight. That's not what that question was about. It was, no, please do not do that. Do not do that. But I know you're a
Yeah, no, I
competitor.
won't.
I can see that you're a competitor, and I know competitors are likely the ones to kind of have those moments. That's why I feel like I was a safe bet. But your story just really validated that for me. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no. People don't really realize, but I get pretty chippy. I kind of talk a little bit, but it's more like whispers to the other players. But yeah, I sometimes I talk a little bit, but the refs usually don't catch it, so it's okay.
Well, I mean that's the name of the game, In a lot of ways, that's the name of the game. A lot of it's mental, and a lot of the great players, they get in people's heads. So yeah, no, I don't think that's anything to be concerned about, and I think it's completely normal. So motivation, right? You said you're kind of the hype lady for your team, right? Or you feel like you can be at times or whatever, right? I want you to take this moment to hype your team up and your fans. I want you to give them a message, and I want you to say it with some conviction, all right? And really inspire us. Give us some motivation for this season. What you got?
Yeah, I would just say like motivation to my teammates is I've loved playing with all my teammates. I know them on a whole nother level. They became family for me. I've loved playing on the court with them. That's definitely like my favorite times is to just be on the court with those girls or even just in the gym with those girls. But I think just out to the fans that it's a different Tooele this year, and we're really excited to show people what we have this year and what we've put the work in for. And yeah, I just hope people will show up for us and kind of cheer us on. But we're really excited to show people what we have this year.
Oh, well, I'm super excited for it. I believe you 100%. I mean, you ladies had a great year last year. You're returning all but two and probably adding a few more. You guys picked up um, a PZ Male from Stansbury, if I'm not mistaken. So that's another addition to your guys' team. Um, so really big things I think for you ladies moving forward. I'm super excited for it, and I don't think you can. I don't think it's unreal to assume that you ladies are just going to get better based off of all your returners and the cohesion that you guys showed, especially in the latter part of the season, in my opinion. Um, so I think you guys are going to have a good one, and I'm super excited for you guys. I really am. Is
Yeah, we're really excited too. And PC's a beast. We're really excited to have her on our team. We love her, and I know it's pretty awesome that we have her now.
No, 100%, 100%. I was a little shocked by that when we started putting everything together and kind of saw that. Thought we were gonna have to talk about her over there at Stansbury's, but she's gonna be joining you ladies, and I think it's a great addition to your guys' team. Can't wait to see what she does. Obviously, she's gonna have a little bit of a delay there, right? But I think once that's over, I think it's gonna be a great addition to your guys' team. Is there anything else that you would like to add that you feel people should know that we maybe didn't cover?
Um, no, I don't think so. I think we mostly got it all, but we're coming for Grantsville, that's for sure. We're gonna break the streak of Grantsville beating Tooele in girls basketball. So
Well, hey, you know what? I will be there. I'm going to hold you to that. Um, it will be probably a little bit of a different look, I imagine. I don't know what to expect, to be completely honest with you. But they do have some returning players that I think are going to be pretty decent. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park by any means, but I think you guys have the cohesion aspect right now that they might be lacking. So you might be right on that. I'm not going to call it either way because I don't know. All I know is I have a feeling it's going to be a much more entertaining outcome, and I think it's going to be a great game for both your teams, and I'm excited to see what you guys do.
yeah, it's gonna be a great game. And yeah, you're right. Grantsville does have a lot of great players. I've played with a lot of them in Summit or just before going to high school. I was maybe going to go to Grantsville, so I played with a lot of these girls, and they're athletic and they've played together for a long time, and they're definitely still a great team. But we're excited to play them.
Well, cool. Well, I will see you at the game tomorrow. Halle, I really want to thank you for joining me. I know it's late. You had practice this evening, so I greatly appreciate you joining me and going over some of these questions. I really do appreciate it. I wish you nothing but the best heading into this season. I wish your team nothing but the best, and I hope you're able to achieve those goals that you're striving for this year.
Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot. And thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime you are welcome back anytime. So if you got something
Sweet.
you feel like you want to talk about, reach out to me, all right, and let me know. And because you're a heck of an athlete, it's been I'm super glad I started doing this because if I hadn't have done this, I don't know that I ever would have seen you really play, or your team play. And I'm a fan of what you girls got going on over there, 100%. And so thank you for being great in that aspect. It's much appreciated.
Thank you. It means a lot.
All right. Well, you have a great night. Thank you for joining us, everybody. That's Halle Hogan from Tooele High School Ladies Basketball. Keep an eye on her. Keep an eye on her. I'm telling you, she's got it. So keep an eye on her. Okay. So that was Halle Hogan from Tooele High School basketball. Super, super appreciative that she was willing to join us. She had a late night practicing, so I'm super grateful that she was able to join us. Great young lady. I think the sky's the limit for her. So definitely get out here and check this game out. But again, this game will be tonight at 7 p.m. in Grantsville. I don't think you're going to want to miss it. It's really going to be a good game. That Tooele team is really good, and Grantsville's been historically good, right? And now there's kind of a change in the regime, so a lot of unknowns there, a lot of players trying to prove themselves. I think it's going to be a great matchup. So do yourself a favor and get out there and check that out. Yeah, that'll wrap up our game of the week there, Grantsville versus Tooele. So sticking with women's basketball, we'll just stick with women's basketball. Then we'll get into what we got for the men's coming up tonight. But we've got the Stansbury Stallions. They'll be on the road in North Sanpete tonight, taking on obviously North Sanpete. Right, that game will be at 7 p.m. Now a little bit about them. They also have a new coach, Cruz. I can't think of her first name to save my life right now. It's in my notes though. Hold on. Hold on. Coach Whitney Cruz. So she was a former assistant, I think. So she's definitely familiar with the program. But nonetheless, they have a new head coach over there for the Stansbury Ladies. Let's look at what they did a little bit last year. Last season, they didn't have too bad of a season. They went 9-14 overall. They did pretty well in region play. They went 5-7. 38.4 points per game was their average for 27% field goal percentage, 19% from 3-point line, and 48% from the free throw line. However, they did have 467 total turnovers, which is something I'm sure that Coach Cruz is really trying to to reel in because you can't win games if you're just giving the ball up, right? So probably the biggest stat that they probably want to overcome there. Now, some notable returners for him. You've got senior number 0, Leah Larson. She had 62 points last year, 76 rebounds, 45 assists, which was second on the team. She had 50 steals, which she led the team in that category. But she also was third in turnovers with 67. So she's kind of got to reel that in. But nonetheless, the rest of it looks pretty promising. She had 22 personal fouls, 23% from the field. She was 19% from the three-point line, going 5 of 26. She was 39% from the free throw line, 7 of 18. So another area that she's probably looking to improve upon there, but more opportunities, maybe that gets a little bit better. Who knows? You also have junior number 2, Kate Lambert. She had 42 points last season, 10 rebounds, 17 steals, 4 blocks. She did have 35 turnovers and 22 personal fouls. She went 38% from the field, 25% from the three-point line, going 2 of 8, and 59% from the free throw line, going 10 of 17. So not too bad from the free throw line there. North Sanpete, last season they went 7-17 overall. They were 4-10 in region. They averaged about 40.3 points per game. They were 32% from the field, 25% from the three-point line, and 43% from the free throw line. Some notable returners for them. You've got a junior, number 20, Malia Schlappe. Hope I said that correctly. She had 192 points, 54 rebounds. She led the team with 41 assists. She had 36 steals, but she also led the team with 96 turnovers. So definitely got to reel that in for that young lady. And she also led the team in personal fouls with 53. So really aggressive probably on defense would be my guess. But she's really got to reel in those turnovers, I think, if she wants to really take that next step. Now, 32% from the field. She was 30% from the three-point line. She did lead in attempts. She went 39 of 128. So keep your eye on her. She's definitely going to be a shooter, right? She's going to take her opportunities when she sees them. So definitely not bad there. She was 50% from the free throw line, though. So 19 of 38. Again, another area that she's probably looking to improve upon. But 38 attempts at the line, not too shabby there. Another player you can keep your eye on is senior number 5, Elsie Bailey. She had 114 points, 55 rebounds, 21 steals, 54 turnovers, and 23 personal fouls. She was 30% from the field, 13% from the three-point line, going 6 of 47. And she was second in attempts at the free throw line. She got to she had 50 attempts at the free throw line. She went 52% there, 26 of 50. So if she can improve upon that, that could be a heck of a turnaround for that North Sanpete team. So again, Stansbury having a new head coach taking the reins, right? Coach Whitney Cruz. I do believe she was a former assistant for the program, so she is familiar with the team and the players. However, Stansbury does lose their leading scorer from last year to Tooele, I believe it was. So that kind of puts the Stallions only seeing 2 of their top 7 stat leaders in scoring returning for them. So a little bit of a damper there, but again, I don't know what Coach Cruz has in mind for him, but that could be a little bit of a problem for him. So North Sanpete, on the other hand, will likely have 4 of their top 7 returning this year. However, they too appear to have a new head coach in Alan Jacobson. So who knows what we're going to get out of that squad this year. But so this could be an interesting matchup, I think. You'll likely see a lot of the same from North Sanpete would be my guess. But Stansbury stands to shock some people if Coach Cruz has been able to make a lot of headway, right? I think, this is a tough one for me because obviously I want to root for Stansbury here. But I think North Sanpete might have a little bit at the edge here just because I think they have the advantage being at home and having more top 7 returners, right, in terms of scoring. They've got 4 out of 7 returning. I think that cohesion might be a little bit tighter, but I don't want to rule Stansbury out because I don't know anything about Coach Cruz, right? I don't know what her game plan is. She might come in and really shock some people. So I'm not ruling them out by any means. I just think that North Sanpete might have a little bit of an advantage here. That's all. Okay, now sticking with women's basketball, our Deseret Peak Golden Eagles have their opening game in their school for their team. All of that applies. They have their opening game tonight, at 7 p.m. Okay, now obviously not a lot is known about Deseret Peak because, well, we haven't seen anything from 'em. I think since I did this, they did post a roster. Maybe I'll catch back up with that in a minute, but I don't want to lose myself in my notes here. But nonetheless, this is their first season as a program, so there's a lot to be learned here, right? But head coach for the Golden Eagles is Coach Skyler Beard. I hope I said that correctly. But he's a former coach for Bingham High School, and he did pretty well over there. He was 58 wins and 38 losses. So I think that's a very good positive note for this Golden Eagles team. So definitely interested to see what he's able to do. I know that the boys team had a fair amount of transfers, so they're going to be affected by that transfer rule. I don't know if that same rule is going to really apply for the ladies. But yeah, definitely interested in that. Now, as far as Taylorsville is concerned, they didn't do too shabby last year. They went 500 on season, going 11-11 overall, 8-2 in region, 44.1 points per game was their average. They were 30% from the field, 21% from the three-point line, and 53% from the free throw line. However, they did have 554 turnovers. So that might be something that Deseret Peak can take advantage of. I don't know. But notable returners for Taylorsville, they've got junior number 10, Karen Jones. She had 208 points, and she led the team with that. She had 45 rebounds, 32 assists, 35 steals, and she was second on the stat sheet, leading in turnovers with 81. So definitely prone to giving the ball up there, right? Something she's probably looking to really improve upon. She had 22 personal fouls, 25% field goal percentage. She was 24% from the three-point line. She did lead in attempts, 44 for 180. So another player that's probably going to take advantage of the looks that she gets, right? She was 65% from the free throw line, and she tied for second in attempts there. So she got to the line a fair amount there, going 26 of 40. So not too shabby at that 65%, but I'm sure that's still something she would probably like to increase. Now, another player that we're going to be keeping our eye on is senior number 5, Destiny Harrison. She had 169 points, 59 rebounds, 53 assists, which led the team last year, by the way. She also led the team in steals with 45, and she led the team, unfortunately, in turnovers with 96. So these two returners look to be prone to kind of make some mistakes, giving that defense an opportunity, right? So definitely something to keep your eye on there. Destiny Harrison she had 36 personal fouls. She went 31% from the field, 22% from the three-point line, going 20 of 89. And she led the team in free throw percentage with 81%, going 21 of 26. So definitely not the person you want to send to the line. Pretty decent three-point shooter. Taylorsville head coach Justin Hadlock is entering his second season, sitting at 500 in his first season, right? So he has 5 of his top 7 looking to be returners, and I think that's a huge advantage for them, especially as they went 8-2 to finish out the season last year. Taylorsville really went on a run to finish out that season, so I think that's a pretty big advantage for them. But Deseret Peak has a lot of unknowns, obviously, as far as the roster is concerned, but they appear to have a very capable coach, so I definitely don't want to rule them out. I think a good coach can really do a lot of positive things, so I'm definitely not ruling them out. Though Taylorsville appears to have a solid returning cast, they did have a lot of turnovers last year, a whole bunch of them, and that might turn out well for this Deseret Peak Golden Eagles team if they're able to capitalize on that. So I think the safe bet here is obviously Taylorsville, right? Because you hear those stats, you hear about the returners. They didn't have too bad of a season last year, but I'm going to bank on good coaching here and take our Golden Eagles on this one. I don't know if it'll be an upset, but in an upset per se, I think a lot of people are looking at this Deseret Peak school as an easy win. And I'm hoping that the Golden Eagles can take advantage of that mindset and maybe pull out a win here. So I'm rooting on the Golden Eagles here. I think good coaching is going to prevail, and I think they're going to do something with that. This game will be at home for the Lady Eagles, so if you don't want to catch the game of the week, inter-county rival, I think this is going to be a good game to potentially catch too. So, and we'll get to see a lot. We'll get to see a lot of things that we don't really know. So, again, this game will be at 7 p.m. tonight. So please do your best to get out there and show some support in the crowd and really welcome them in and make them feel at home, because they're part of us, and that's what we should be doing. So, again, 7 p.m. tonight, Golden Eagles versus Taylorsville Warriors, I think, is their little mascot thing. Ooh, whoop-de-doo, Basil. Okay, so we're going to stick with Deseret Peak here for just a moment. Might as well. We already talked about the women's. Might as well talk about the men's here. Just got to find my place in my notes here. Oh, boy. 1 second. Here we go. All right. Deseret Peak, Golden Eagles on the road at Providence Hall tonight at 7 p.m. Now, this matchup, this is an interesting one. This one really is an interesting one, in my opinion, because the Providence Hall, I don't even know what their mascot is. I didn't even bother to look at it. But, yeah, there's a lot to get. We'll get into it, I guess. But obviously, again, same rules kind of apply, right? We've got Deseret Peak Golden Eagles in their first program season. A lot of players that won't be able to play due to transfer rules. So definitely going to be interesting to see what they do with that. However, I think this will work out a little bit. But let's look at Providence Hall here. Last season they went 4-18 overall, and 0-6 in region. So not a very solid year for them. They went 37% from the field, 30% from the three-point line, 66% from the free throw line. They averaged 51.2 points per game. Now, notable returners for them, you've got junior number 2, Dallas Lutensock. He had 127 minutes, 178 points, 13 steals, 28 turnovers, 32% from the field. He was 33% from the three-point line. He went 50 of 151. So, again, another shooter that's probably going to take opportunities when he sees them, and he didn't do too shabby. So keep your eye on him. Again, that's number 2. From the free throw line, he led the team in percentage at 80%, going 16 of 20. So a very capable free throw shooter as well. So probably not the guy you want to send to the line, and definitely not the guy you want to leave open. Another player that is going to be a notable returner for Providence Hall here. We've got senior number 20, Riker Jones. He had 181 minutes last year, 121 points, 68 rebounds, 58 assists, which led the team, by the way. He was second in steals with 35. He did have 68 turnovers, 30 personal fouls. He went 32% from the field, 26% from the three-point line, going 16 of 62, and then 57% from the free throw line, going 21 of 37. So definitely an area that he's probably looking to improve upon. But, despite not having a lot to go off of for Deseret Peak, right, I like their chances here, because Providence Hall only had wins against similar style schools. They did not seem to do too well against not sorry, I'm knocking stuff over here. They didn't seem to do too well against non-prep schools within their region. So I do like Deseret Peak's odds here, despite some of the uphill hurdles that they're kind of facing, right? Now they do have some returning players with talent, but Deseret Peak has picked up players from all three of our schools, and at that point, I think it's cohesion, right? I've said it about the football teams. I'm going to continue to probably say it throughout the remainder of the season. I think cohesion is going to be the biggest problem that these teams face, as they're all just trying to figure out how to play together and mesh. You know what I mean? So definitely going to be interesting, but I do think it's going to be the biggest factor, and then obviously having to wait on the transfer rules. I think that's going to play a role too. I I don't know how much, again, I want to bank on the fact that good coaching is going to kind of overcome that, right? But I think if the if the Golden Eagles can play solid defense, they're going to give their young players opportunities. That's what I really think. So I like the Golden Eagles in this one as well. I think it's a good opening matchup for them. It's going to, I think, allow them to kind of work through some of the things they're maybe trying to develop with some of those younger players that they might have no choice but to play right. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Definitely rooting for them. I got them in this one because again I don't think Providence Hall. Just looking at the schedule that they had last year, the way they played against non-prep style schools, I like the Golden Eagles here. So good luck, gentlemen. Again, that game will be tonight at 7 p.m. On the road for our Golden Eagles. They will be on the road at Providence Hall. So good luck to them. Safe travels and go get that W. Shock some people, right? All right, and now for our final men's game of the day. Final men's game of the day, a game that I'm super excited for because I think this is a really good matchup for a season opener. A really good matchup, I think. Now, we've got Tooele on the road at Granger tonight at 7 p.m., okay? I think this is a really good matchup. I really do. Last season, Tooele went 3-20 overall, 1-11 in region. They were 39% from the field, 27% from the three-point line, and 64% from the free throw line. Some notable returners for the Buffaloes. You've got senior number 2, Mason Heap. He had 260 points last year, 55 assists, 58 personal fouls. He was second on the team, excuse me, in turnovers with 78 on the season, though. So definitely an area that young man is going to need to improve upon, especially as his supporting cast has kind of changed, right? 32% from the field. He was 33% from 3-point, shooting 65 of 200. So you give him space, he's going to take it. And if you don't give him space, he's probably going to take it. And there's a good chance he's going to make it, all right? He was 70% from the free throw line, so not too shabby there, but I think a little bit of an improvement there will do him and his team some good. You also have the 6'4" sophomore, number 4, Christian Rogers, who should be returning. Now, he didn't play a ton, okay, but he was impactful in the games that he did play. He was battling some injuries and illnesses, according to former coach Justin Pullman, who was on the show with us on Sunday, right? So he didn't play a ton of minutes, but he had 92 points, 52 rebounds, 31 personal fouls, 12 assists. He was 32% from the field, and he didn't do too shabby from the three-point line either, going 21% with 13 of 62 there. So not too shabby, definitely something he can build upon there. His free throw percentage, he was sitting at 78 on the season. So definitely not too bad there. Definitely not bad at all. A little bit of improvement is going to help out even a little bit more, right? So Tooele does lose a lot of their heavy scores from last year and now also has a new head coach to go along with that. So a little bit of an uphill climb for this team, but I think they can do it. I think they can do it. Now Granger, on the other hand, last season they went 3-18 overall, 2-10 in region. They were 35% from the field, 28% from the three-point line, and 64% from the free throw line. Some notable returners from them. You've got junior number 2, Will Tidwell. He had 212 points on the season, 41 rebounds, 23 steals. He led the team, however, in turnovers. So definitely, again, kind of the theme of the show, right? Something he's going to probably want to improve upon there. He was 32% from the field, 33% from the three-point line. He didn't do too bad, folks. He was 44 of 132, so definitely not bad there. And then he shot 72% from the free throw line, going 28 of 39. Another player to keep an eye on, and I'm probably going to butcher his name, and I apologize, but junior number 32, Benson Turkansky. I hope I said that correctly. He had 125 points, 24 steals, 36 turnovers. He was 39% from the field, and he did really well from the three-point line, going 36%, shooting 27 of 75. So definitely not somebody you want on that want to lose track of on the perimeter there, right? Free throws. He was 80%, but he didn't see a ton of attempts. Right, he was 8 of 10 there, but still 80%. In that category, definitely probably not the guy you want to send to the line either. Now Granger returns 4 of their top 7 scorers from last year, and obviously 2 capable 3-point shooters. So definitely an area of emphasis for Tooele there. In their last matchup, it doesn't look like these two teams have really played each other since 2010. I might have missed something there, but if my time spent going through the schedules was accurate, 2010 was the last time these two teams saw each other. So not a lot is known about them, right? Neither one really knows much about either one of them. So, but Granger did take that last meeting back in 2010 with a score of 57-55. So a close one there. And Granger hasn't won more than 3 games in a season since 2019. So Tooele will be on the hunt for their first double-digit win this season since 2019, and they're facing off against a Granger team that has struggled quite a bit the last 5-6 years. So I do like this matchup. I think it's a good first matchup for both teams, honestly. I think Granger has struggled enough in the past that it allows Tooele the opportunity to kind of work through their roster changes as well as their coaching changes, right? But I think if for Granger, this allows them the opportunity to see what they can do with their guards, those 2 young men that we talked about that are returning, who appear to be capable 3-point shooters. And as for Tooele, I think it's a solid opportunity to kind of see what you're working with. Players like Mason Heap to be able to use their experience to lead their team through the ups and downs, because I think you're going to see quite a bit of that. Obviously, there's roster changes, coaching changes. So I'm looking for that young man to really take a lead and showcase the experience that he gained from last year. But a lot of these players, though, got a lot of valuable experience because Tooele was a team that had suffered a lot of injuries. The roster was very fluid because it kind of had to be, right. So there's a lot of things that they learned from last year that I'm expecting to kind of see here, and I think it's going to be a solid first matchup for both of these teams. So good luck to Tooele. Safe travels to them. Obviously, they're not going super far, but nonetheless, safe travels to them. And I'm looking for a good showing. A good showing. I don't know who's going to win this one. I'm not going to lie. I don't know who's going to win this one. I think there's a lot of unknowns for Tooele. Obviously, Granger struggled in the past. Okay, but I do think it's a good first opening to kind of see what you're working with, right? So I like all these matchups. I'm super excited for our game of the week. I'm super excited for that matchup because, in a lot of ways, I feel like last year was kind of not what you should expect from Tooele, the Tooele Lady Buffs, right? I don't think that was what you expect from them. And I know that's not the style of basketball that they're looking to play. So I'm looking for a much different game this year. I'm excited to see, what these next ladies up have to show for Grantsville. I'm excited to see what Coach Boydtson, has kept or changed. I'm super excited for the whole thing. And it's an inter-county rivalry game. So I'm obviously excited for that reason. But nonetheless, folks, if you have the opportunity, please get out and check these games out. We have 2 home games, both of them being the women's games. We have, Grantsville versus Tooele and Deseret Peak versus Taylorsville. So please do your best to get out there and check out one of those games. Get yourself a hot dog, make yourself comfortable, and have a great time because I think it's really going to be a good time. Deseret Peak, I'm super excited to see what they can bring to the table. And I'm also really excited for Stansbury's ladies team to see what Coach Cruz has in store for them. So it's going to be a good one. Get yourself out there. Check it out. Have a good time. So that'll wrap up our Game Day podcast. Folks, I hope you have a wonderful day. Please be safe traveling. Get out there and check out a game. As always, guys, please take care of yourself. Please take care of each other. And until next time, I'll see you at the games.
Can't do it like me, no you're not like me, often imitated. never duplicated. USB, often imitated, can't do it like me, never duplicated. This is USB. Can't do it like me, no you're not like me, often imitated.